Everyone, and welcome to Statistics Lesson number 5, box plots. So this is a box plot. It's called a box plot because it mostly is consisted of a box. It used to be called the box and whisker plot because we have the box and then these two lines kind of look like little cat whiskers. Right? But now we just call it a box plot. There's going to be 5 important points of a box plot. We're going to have the minimum, which is going to be the smallest number in our data, quartile 1, which is also known as the lower quartile, so our LQ, the median, which is also known as quartile 2, quartile 3, which is known also as the upper quartile, and the maximum, which is going to be the biggest number in our data set. Okay, we also have this number line down here that tells us that we're talking about temperature. Temperatures go from 10 all the way up to 60, and important to note that it's counting by twos. So we look at this box plot, right? I look at the minimum, I go down, and I can see that the minimum here is 12. Should go right above that number. The lower quartile is going to be 22. The median, goes straight down, is 34. Quartile 3, or the upper quartile, is going to go down right at 42. And the maximum here is going to be right at 54. It's a little bit off, but we're going to go with 54. Okay, so that's how we're going to find our values using a box plot. Now, we know that our quartiles split our data up into 25% in each quartile. So does a box plot. So we know from the minimum to the quartile 1, that's going to be 25% of our data. From quartile 1 to the median, that's another 25%. From the median to quartile 3, another 25%. And then from quartile 3, or the upper quartile, to the maximum is our last 25% of the data. Okay, 25, 25, 25, 25. So altogether, this is going to be 100% of our data. So looking at it from our minimum to our median, since we know that's half of it, we know it's going to be 50%. 25% for this part of the box, 25% here. If I'm going from the lower quartile to the maximum, so lower quartile to maximum, that's going to be 25, 50, 75%. Okay, so each part of this box plot is going to represent 25% of our data. Now the box. The box is going from the lower quartile to the upper quartile. So the distance that the box is going to actually be our interquartile range. Okay, so if we look at this, from here to here, that's going to be the IQR. So to find that, we would take quartile 3, our upper quartile, 42, and subtract the 22. So our interquartile range here would be 20. Okay, let's try a couple. Looking at these two box plots, you can have more than one box plot on the same plot. Right, so we have January and June. This could be inches of precipitation. If we're looking at it, now our minimum, if we're looking at January, the minimum we saw was all the way to the left. So we go all the way to the left, look down, it's between 1.2 and 1.4. So our minimum for January is going to be 1.3. The maximum for January. Here's our maximum. We look at 2.4, 2.6, it's right in between. So our maximum is going to be 2.5. The median. The median is going to be this number right here where the line is in the middle of the box. Okay, sometimes it'll be shifted to the left, sometimes to the right, depending on how bunched our data is. But our median here is going to be this dot, which is going to be 1.8. Okay, the upper quartile. The upper quartile is going to be the right side of the box. So here it's going to be 2, or 2.0. The lower quartile, between 1.6 and 1.8, we look down, that's going to be 1.7. The interquartile range, which we said is represented by this box, and we also know is our upper quartile minus our lower quartile. So it's going to be 2 minus 1.7, gives us 0.3. That's the interquartile range. Okay, so if you want to hit pause now and try and fill out the values for June on your own, go for it. Okay, so if you tried them and you want to check your answers, here we go. Our minimum for June is between 1.8 and 2.0, so it's going to be 1.9. 1.9. The maximum, all the way to the right, is 2.4. The median between 2.0 and 2.2, that's going to be 2.1. The upper quartile, the right side of the box, between 2.2 and 2.3 is 2.3. Between 2.2 and 2.4, that's 2.3. Lower quartile, right at 2. In our interquartile range, we know we take the upper quartile minus the lower quartile, 2.3 minus 2. So we notice that we get 0.3. Both of our interquartile ranges are the same, 0.3 and 0.3. That means that these two boxes are actually the same exact size. So the middle half of the data have the same range. Okay, so that's how we're going to find our values using our dot plots. That's our box plots. Have a good one.